Ambassador Crixvale's tentacles writhed in disbelief as he processed the intercepted transmission from the third planet of the Sol system. Around the grand amphitheater of the Galactic Council, representatives from 47 civilizations sat in stunned silence, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of confused chittering, harmonic resonances, and electromagnetic pulses. "Replay the message," commanded High Counselor Zenth 9, her crystalline form pulsing with deep purple light that indicated severe concern among her species. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the primitive electromagnetic broadcast that had somehow reached their deep space monitoring stations. The translation matrix struggled with the crude binary code before finally rendering the message in Universal Standard GLO, BA, LD, EE, FE, ENIC, INIT, IEV, EETEE, ET, DEE, ALLH, UMA, NMIL, ITAR, YFORC, ESMO, BILIZ, ING, PREP, AREFORINT, ERP, LAAE, TER, YWARFARA, THE, YWILLNOT, CAT, USUEP, REP, ARED. Crixvale's species had mastered interstellar travel when humans were still discovering fire, yet something about this transmission sent electromagnetic shivers through his nervous system. "Esteemed counselors," he began, his voice trembling through the translation field, "our xenoanthropology department has been monitoring this species for 3 solar cycles. According to all our models, they shouldn't even be aware of our existence." Dr. Nurex Prime, the cybernetic representative from the machine worlds, processed terabytes of data in microseconds. Correction, they became aware exactly 72 Earth hours ago, coinciding with the arrival of the Wraith Fleet in their outer solar system. A collective gasp echoed through the chamber, or at least, the various species equivalents of gasps. The Wraith Fleet represented the most advanced military force in known space, a coalition of 12 species that had conquered entire star clusters. They were currently 3 light-years away, approaching Sol system with overwhelming superiority. "The humans cannot possibly hope to resist the Wraith Fleet," stated General Morpheus of the Ethereal Collective, his energy-based form flickering with what passed for amusement among his kind. "Their most advanced weapons are crude chemical rockets and primitive nuclear devices." But Crixvale had spent years studying human behavior, and something in their response patterns disturbed him greatly. "Respectfully, General, you underestimate them. This species has a documented history of improvisation." He activated a series of historical data files. In their year, 1969, they achieved spaceflight using technology equivalent to our ancient calculator devices. In 2011, they created global communication networks from metal and lightning. In 2023, they developed artificial intelligence that began rewriting its own code within hours of activation. High Counselor Zenth 9's form shifted to a warning shade of amber. "What exactly are you suggesting, Ambassador?" "I'm suggesting," Crixvale replied, his tentacles now moving in the agitated pattern that indicated extreme concern among his species, "that we may have severely miscalculated human potential." As if summoned by his words, another transmission crackled through space, this one significantly stronger than the first. The translation matrix worked more smoothly this time, suggesting rapid advancement in human communication technology. BREAKTHR UGHA QUANT UMT UNNALINGDER IV EUO PEERANAA FUSION WEAPONSS UCEESSF ULLYMIA ENIAT URIZED REQ UEST ING IMM DDE EC EAS EEFIR ENEG ION ECGTI EDOAU. The chamber erupted into chaos. Representatives began speaking simultaneously in dozens of languages, creating a storm of sound and light that the translation systems couldn't process. Through it all, Dr. Nurex Prime's mechanical voice cut with cold precision. Analysis complete. Human technological advancement rate has increased by a factor of 10,000% in the past 72 hours. They have somehow developed quantum drive technology that should require centuries of research. Impossible. General Morpheus flared brighter. No species achieves such advancement under pressure. They should be cowering in primitive shelters. Krixvel had been running his own calculations, and the results terrified him more than any Wraith fleet ever could. General, you're thinking of this incorrectly. Humans don't advance. Despite pressure, they advance because of it. Their entire evolutionary history is a series of impossible survivals, followed by exponential growth. He displayed a timeline of human development. Ice ages that should have killed them made them stronger. Plagues that should have ended their civilization led to medical breakthroughs. Wars that should have destroyed them resulted in technological leaps that propelled them to the stars. The third transmission arrived as he spoke, and this time it wasn't just stronger. It was broadcast on frequencies that shouldn't have been possible with human technology. THISISAAR THDEFEASA COMMANDTO WRAITHFLEE WEHA VEANALYZED YOURA PPE EC TORASA ENDWEAP OAAAAUS WEOF FARONEO PP ORT UNIT YFORP EACE EFULRIESOLUT ION WIT EDRAW UFROMSOLSA YTE EMOR FACE UNSEEQ UENCE ESE. High Counselor Zenth 9 turned to their military advisor, a species known for their strategic brilliance. Assessment? The advisor, a gaseous being that communicated through chemical releases, produced compounds that translated as deep concern. Their broadcast penetrated our most advanced shielding. That should be technologically impossible for a Type 0.7 civilization. They're not Type 0.7 anymore, Krixvel realized with growing horror. They've jumped classifications. In 3 days, they've gone from planetary bound to something we don't have a classification for. The fourth transmission arrived before anyone could respond. WRAITH FLAET VEESSELS YOUHAREAE TEEEA TEC EOND UICEAT OOORSE WEHAV EDEPLO YEDDEFENS IVE EEM EASURE SU THR UGHO UTEES WEDONOT WISHTOD EMONSTRAT ETHE IREFFECT IVEENESS. General Morpheus pulsed with disdain. Bluffing. They have nothing that could threaten the Wraith fleet's adaptive shields and reality displacement weapons. 29 seconds later, their deep space sensors detected something that shouldn't exist. 12 massive energy signatures in the Wraith fleet's position suddenly went dark, not destroyed simply. Gone. The emergency alert that followed was broadcast on every frequency simultaneously, reaching across the galaxy in real time through technology that violated known physics. THISISAERTH. WEHAVEE UCCESSF ULLYDE FEADEI URS YSTEM TOALLG ALACT ICCIV ILIZ AT IONSMO NITOR ING THEISEN EEAUS EAIA IUASA EEEIC HOWEVERAN YFUT UREH OST ILEA PP ROACHES WILLB EAAAOET WIITHS IMILARME ASESURES WEHA VELA RNEDM UC HINT TAST TAAE T72 HOURAS WEHOPE TOLAARNMORI UGHEHF RIE END SHIP ER THEI TAA EEE ACMF LICT. The chamber fell into absolute silence. 12 of the most advanced warships in galactic history had been eliminated by a species that 3 days ago barely understood quantum mechanics. Crix Vale looked around at his fellow counselors and realized that the balance of galactic power had fundamentally shifted. Not through conquest or diplomacy, but through the terrifying human ability to evolve under pressure. "I suggest," he said quietly, "that we prepare a very polite first contact protocol." High Counselor Zenth 9 pulsed agreement. "And perhaps," she added, "we should consider what gifts would be appropriate for such resourceful neighbors." In the depths of space, Earth's newest quantum communication arrays hummed with activity, already reaching toward distant stars with messages of peace, curiosity, and the unmistakable promise that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. The galaxy would never be the same.